She was young, she was popular, a college cheerleader with her whole life ahead of her. But behind the polished photos and bright smile was a secret no one could imagine. In September 2025, police in Kentucky made a discovery so shocking it sent shockwaves through the campus community and across the nation. A newborn baby hidden in a trash bag inside an apartment. The mother? Allegedly, 21-year-old cheerleader Laken Snelling. This is the case that has everyone asking, how could something like this happen? And who was Laken Snelling, really? Laken Snelling wasn't just another college student. To her peers, she was the girl who had it all. A cheerleader at the University of Kentucky, well-known on campus, always active on social media, posting pictures in full makeup, school outfits, and even glowing maternity shots with a boyfriend at her side. But beneath the surface, cracks were starting to show. Reports later revealed a darker side: accusations of bullying in high school, clashes with classmates, and whispers of reckless behavior. On the outside, Laken maintained her image, but privately, she was hiding something life-changing. It was late August 2025 when neighbors began noticing something strange. People heard odd noises coming from Laken's apartment. Some claimed they thought they heard crying. Others brushed it off. But what they didn't know, what police would soon uncover, was that inside that apartment, a tragedy had just taken place. Days later, after reports of suspicious activity, officers arrived at Laken's off-campus residence. When they searched the unit, what they found was horrifying: a deceased newborn baby stuffed inside a trash bag. The infant had allegedly been concealed in a bedroom closet, surrounded by other items as if someone was desperately trying to cover it up. When police confronted Laken Snelling, she appeared shaken but attempted to explain herself. Authorities quickly took her into custody. The charges? Abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, concealing the birth of an infant. For many in her circle, this revelation was unthinkable. Laken Snelling? The smiling cheerleader? The girl in those bright maternity photos? But the evidence was undeniable, and as news of her arrest broke, the case became an instant media storm. The story might have remained a tragic local incident, until a series of images began circulating online. In them, Laken posed in a flowing white dress, hands gently cradling her pregnant belly. Beside her stood a young man, smiling proudly. These were not secret photos, they were full maternity shots, professional and celebratory. The internet was stunned. How could someone proudly pose for pictures like that, and then allegedly discard the baby like trash? These images, shared thousands of times, turned the Laken Snelling case into a viral phenomenon. Within hours, hashtags linked to Laken's name were trending on TikTok, Twitter, and Reddit. Some users expressed rage, calling her a monster. Others defended her, pointing to the intense pressure young women face, especially those in competitive sports and image-focused environments. The debate quickly spread beyond Kentucky. It became a national conversation. Was this a case of cold-blooded concealment, or the result of fear, shame, and lack of support? As reporters dug deeper, another layer of the story began to unfold. High school acquaintances came forward with shocking claims that Laken had a history of bullying, even violence. One girl alleged Laken once tried to run her over with a car after an argument. Whether these stories were true or exaggerated, they added fuel to the fire. The image of a perfect cheerleader crumbled into something much darker.
Police are still piecing together the timeline of what really happened that night. Did Laken give birth alone in her apartment? Was anyone else involved? And most importantly, how did the baby die? An autopsy was ordered to determine the cause of death. Forensic specialists are expected to analyze everything from biological evidence to the apartment's condition. At the same time, prosecutors are working to decide whether the charges against Laken should be elevated beyond abuse of a corpse. If evidence proves intentional harm, she could face far more severe penalties. As of now, Laken Snelling awaits her next court date. Cameras will be there, news outlets will be there, and so will the eyes of the internet. Her defense team may argue that she panicked, that she didn't know what to do, that she acted out of fear rather than malice. The prosecution, however, will paint a very different picture. A young woman who carefully concealed her pregnancy in some circles, posed proudly in others, and ultimately treated a newborn as disposable. The clash between these narratives promises to be one of the most closely watched trials of the year. The Laken Snelling case isn't just about one cheerleader. It forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. Why do tragedies like this keep happening? Are young women getting enough education and support about pregnancy options? And how can a society so connected online fail to see someone in crisis offline? For many, Laken's story isn't just about crime. It's about culture, pressure, and silence. It's impossible to ignore the haunting contrast, the smiling maternity photos, and the grim discovery in a trash bag. Those images will likely be shown again and again in court, in the media, and across social platforms. Because no matter the outcome of this case, they tell a story no one will forget. A young life lost before it even began. As we wait for updates, one thing is certain. This case will continue to dominate headlines. Every new court filing, every new statement, every new leak will be dissected by millions. And whether Laken Snelling is ultimately convicted or not, the question will remain, what really happened inside that apartment, and why? She was supposed to represent school spirit, teamwork, and energy. Instead, she's become the center of one of the most disturbing college scandals in recent memory. The Laken Snelling case is still unfolding, but one truth has already emerged. Behind the filters, behind the cheer routines, behind the carefully staged photos, was a reality darker than anyone imagined. And now, the world is watching. That's where we'll leave this case, for now. But the story of Laken Snelling and the unanswered questions surrounding that night is far from over. If you believe stories like this deserve to be told, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss the next case we uncover. Because every week we dive into the crimes that shock America, the cases that raise questions, and the stories that can't be forgotten. I'll see you in the next video.